Hello there. This is where the fun begins.
What's up, guys? Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have some exciting news. We're going to be talking about all of the upcoming releases for the Star Wars slate in 2024 on Disney+. Of course, we're going to go ahead, we're going to hop right on into it. It's pretty action-packed and jam-packed. It's a golden age for the Star Wars franchise. Once a year, I really do feel that the Star Wars franchise has been really on quite a hot streak in the last couple of years at this point. Ever since 2021, 2022 there, we've really been on a very hot streak into the regards of getting Star Wars content coming out on Disney+, especially with many new projects and shows. Some will call it oversaturation, and I do agree with that. At times it can feel a bit oversaturated, but at the same time, I do feel that they spread these Star Wars projects out enough between one another and the releases that they're coming out on the Disney+ platform gives them enough breathing room to make us wanting more. That there being said, a selection of new and returning Star Wars shows will be premiering on Disney+ in 2024 next year. As the Star Wars franchise continues its break from the big screen for the time being, it is flourishing on Disney+ with its shows. 2023 saw the releases of The Mandalorian Season 3 and the premiere of Rosario Dawson's led Ahsoka show. Over the last 12 months, a sophomore run for The Bad Batch was also added to the streamer. And with the Hollywood strikes now resolved and Lucasfilm being able to get back to work on new content, there are even more brand new Star Wars stories for fans to look forward to in the new year. That there being said, here's all 5 new 2024 Star Wars projects for Disney+. That's right, 5 new projects. Disney+ is the home of Star Wars until the franchise does make its grand return to the theaters with its movies. Here are the 5 Disney+ Star Wars shows heading to the platform in 2024, according to the latest issue of Empire magazine. Starting out with the new and next one being Star Wars Skeleton Crew, being the next big live-action Star Wars show and addition to the Mandoverse. Star Wars Skeleton Crew stars Jude Law as a Jedi, or an ex-Jedi, as he shepherds a group of young children who become lost in an uncharted region of the galaxy. Originally, Star Wars Skeleton Crew was first slated for a release this year in the fall, but plans were ultimately changed around, especially due to the ongoing strikes that are now resolved. The show is set in that post-Return of the Jedi time period, as I had mentioned, effectively known as the Mandoverse amongst the fans. In fact, some of the pirates who did menace Navarro in The Mandalorian Season 3 are rumored around to appear in Skeleton Crew as well, firmly tying it into the era. Skeleton Crew is currently without an official release date for the time being, but it is likely to arrive in early 2024, probably sometime in January actually. That there brings us to our potentially second release of 2024 for Star Wars on Disney+, that there being The Acolyte. From writer-director Leslie Headland, The Acolyte, which stars Amanda Steinberg, is set during the waning last final days of the Star Wars High Republic era. Previously, this time period was only fleshed out through the tie-in materials such as the novels, really. The Acolyte is going to mark the first time that the High Republic era will be depicted in live action and outside of the media of novels and books. The Acolyte is going to be centered around the Sith characters and set 100 years before the Skywalker saga with The Phantom Menace. The Acolyte began its production in late 2022 last year and continued into this year of 2023. It has since wrapped its principal photography and is currently in the post-production phase. Steinberg's co-stars include Logan's Daphne Keane and Manny Jacinto. Don't even get me started on the cast for this show. It's honestly stacked with so many talented names. This show has been officially set for that 2024 release for some time, with word coming from Disney chairman Bob Iger himself back in March of this year that they do want to release this year, or much rather next year, 2024, and that it is still on track for that. That brings us to our third show and release for Star Wars in 2024, that there being The Bad Batch's Season 3, its third and final season. The fan-favorite Bad Batch animated show will air its third and final season in 2024. The Bad Batch centers on its elite squad of genetically enhanced clone troopers who find themselves adjusting to a galaxy during a transition of power from the end of the Clone Wars to the rise of the Empire. D. Bradley Baker returns to provide the voices of the main cast of troopers, while Michelle Ang reprises her young clone sister, Omega. The show's second season ended in a tragedy for its heroes, leaving many viewers eager to discover what happens next, leaving us on a bit of a cliffhanger. Season 3 of The Bad Batch doesn't yet have an official release date attached beyond being set for a 2024 release, and from what I have heard onto the reports of Season 3 of The Bad Batch is that it does sound like it is done. It's squared away in a corner somewhere at Lucasfilm headquarters, and it's ready for its release next next year in 2024. That goes for the other animated show that we'll discuss in just a moment for a 2024 release. Next up, for our fourth release of 2024 for Star Wars on Disney Plus is Andor Season 2. The sleeper hit Andor stars Diego Luna reprising his role as Cassian Andor from the 2016 film Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. The show made major waves when it premiered in September of last year, 2022, thanks to its complex characters and that more mature tone. Production on Andor's second season was paused due to the writer's strike and the subsequent actor strike, but it is expected to be completed as soon as possible. In a recent interview conducted in March of this year, showrunner, director, writer Tony Gilroy stated that Lucasfilm was initially aiming for a summer 2024 release slate. And one thing that I love about Tony Gilroy, aside from his talent, is that he's very open about talking about his projects, especially for Andor, giving us plenty of insight for what we can anticipate and expect for Andor Season 2. It may come as a surprise that Andor Season 2 is still set for that 2024 release schedule, given the delays incurred by the strikes, but it is reportedly still expected to come out sometime next year in 2024, still aiming for that kind of late summer release slot, as Tony Gilroy had mentioned. Now, while they do have a bit more filming for Andor Season 2, there was only like a little bit more that they had to do from what I've heard before the strikes had actually began. And what they were doing in the meanwhile is that they were actually editing everything that they had already filmed for Andor Season 2. So a lot of the show's actually done, squared away, edited, whatever, and, you know, kind of done. They just have a little bit more to film, and from there conclude its editing with that. It really doesn't need a whole lot more time, and it is still expected for that 2024 release. That there brings us to our second animated show, as I had mentioned, alongside The Bad Batch Season 3. It's also the fifth and final potential release of 2024, it seems, Tales of the Jedi Season 2. Tales of the Jedi is a collection of animated shorts that revealed previously untold stories from the Star Wars prequel trilogy era. It's featured an identical animation style of the popular Clone Wars show and offers new adventures with characters like Ahsoka Tano, Count Dooku, and even Yaddle. A Season 2 of Tales of the Jedi is now on the way, although it has not been revealed of which characters and time periods the new episodes will focus on. Nevertheless, it will debut on Disney Plus in 2024, likely dropping all of its installments as once, as it did with its first season. But wait, there seems to be even more Star Wars content yet to come. Star Wars might be sticking strictly to television for the time being in the coming year, but Lucasfilm has several feature films in development that will catapult the franchise back into the cinemas with its movie releases. A Mandalorian crossover movie, which is expected to tie together the various Mandoverse heroes and projects shows and put them against Grand Admiral Thrawn, directed by Dave Filoni, the new appointed Chief Creative Officer, getting that promotion, something that we did discuss already here on the channel. James Mangold, who helmed Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, Indiana Jones 5, which just came out, I think this year, maybe last year, is working on a film that explores the dawn of the Force, the Jedi, and the ancient history of the Star Wars galaxy. And finally, we're finally getting that Rey follow-up movie that is being developed by Charmin Obid-Chinoy, and we'll see the sequel trilogy lead Daisy Ridley's return to her most famous role as Rey Skywalker. All of these projects being officially announced and revealed at Star Wars Celebration by Kathleen Kennedy herself earlier this year at Star Wars Celebration. This is only the tip of the iceberg for those Star Wars movies and what's going on with the Star Wars movies. Those are all things that we're covering here on the channel ongoing, as we are getting new updates and, you know, whatever for those movies. Of course, we like to update you guys and talk about those here on the channel. We're not just discussing that, we're also discussing all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, grab that subscribe button and join us here on the channel today, guys. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been Unofficial Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.